You are being lied to every single day. They tell you to be nice. They tell you to be humble. They tell you to wait your turn and that good things come to those who wait. And look where that has gotten you. Look at the men around you, soft, confused, begging for scraps of attention, for validation, for a paycheck that never grows. This channel is not for them. This channel is for the realist, for the one who looks at the world not as he wishes it to be, but as it is, a world of power, of subtle wars, of unspoken rules. This is Machiavellian philosophy wisdom, and today we dismantle the fairy tale. Today we talk about wealth, not the surface-level nonsense of saving tips and side hustles. No, we go into the dark heart of it. The 7 levels of wealth they never taught you. This is a Machiavellian blueprint. This is not about getting rich. This is about understanding the game so completely that you stop being a player and start being the rule maker. If you are ready to see the machinery behind the curtain, to embrace a Machiavellian perspective on power and value, then do not look away. You are here because you feel the hunger, that quiet, relentless voice that says you are meant for more than servitude. That voice is your greatest weapon. Do not let them soothe it away. They will try. Today, we feed it. For the next hours, you will not be entertained. You will be armed. This is a Machiavellian operation. We dissect reality with clinical precision. Emotion is a liability. Sentimentality is a weakness. We discard them here. What remains is the pure, unadulterated strategy of ascent. Let us begin. Level 1. Survival. The human herd. You are prey. Your entire existence is a reaction to threat. Rent, food, the bill you cannot pay. You are not a person here. You are a biological unit in a state of emergency. The system designs this level. It needs a herd. It needs bodies to perform labor it has no intention of rewarding justly. You were told your poverty is a moral failing. This is the first lie. It is a Machiavellian truth that systems often create problems to control the populace. Your fear keeps you compliant. Your exhaustion keeps you from thinking. You are given just enough to return to the mine tomorrow, but never enough to buy the mine. Look at the Machiavellian example, Cesare Borgia. He did not spring from nothing. His first move was to recognize he was in a cage, the cage of being a cardinal's son, expected to follow a path. His Machiavellian insight? To see the cage. Before you can escape, you must coldly, brutally acknowledge you are in one. At this level, your only Machiavellian tool is ruthless prioritization. Every calorie of energy, every cent must go toward one thing, buying a single bullet to shoot your way out. Not a literal bullet, the bullet of a skill, the bullet of a single certifiable advantage. You cut away everything, every distraction, every friend who drains you, every comfort that softens your resolve. You become a monk of your own survival. This is not living, this is preparing for war. Level 2. Struggle. The illusion of stability. You have escaped the drowning, but you are treading water in a storm. One wave, one missed paycheck, and you sink back. This level is a trap more dangerous than the first because it wears the mask of safety. You have enough to numb the panic, enough to buy the cheap beer that makes you forget. This is where hope goes to die a slow death. The Machiavellian sees this for what it is, a gilded cage. You are pacified. You have been given a heavier chain, but it is still a chain. Your mind is your enemy here. It tells you, this is okay, at least it's not level 1. This is the voice of the slave who thanks his master for the thicker whip. Machiavellian strategy demands you cultivate a profound and emotionless disdain for okay. Your displeasure must be cold, analytical, and motivating. Look to the prince who rules a tiny, unstable state. He knows calm is an illusion. He uses the tension, the constant near failure, as fuel. He does not relax, he fortifies. Your task here is to build your armory. Save not for a rainy day, but for a war chest. Learn a skill that is not common. Network not for friendship, but for strategic alliances. Every person you meet is a potential asset or a potential obstacle. Classify them as such. This is Machiavellian calculation. It is not cruel, it is necessary. Level 3. Stability. The breath before the plunge. You can breathe. For the first time, you are not choking on your own life. You have a small fortress, an emergency fund, a predictable life. This is where the weak stop. They mistake comfort for victory. They get the reliable car, the decent apartment, and they hang a sign that says, "I made it." They are the most pathetic of all because they surrendered one step from the real battlefield. The Machiavellian knows stability is not a destination, it is a platform. It is the stable ground from which you launch your true offensive. This is where you must commit the greatest Machiavellian act, betraying your own comfort. Your comfort is your enemy. It will whisper to you to slow down, to enjoy, to be satisfied. You must silence it. Now is the time for calculated, aggressive expansion. This is the level of the condottieri, the mercenary captains of Renaissance Italy. They had a steady contract, a reliable income. The weak ones spent it on wine and women. The Machiavellian ones, like Francesco Sforza, invested every coin and every ounce of loyalty they commanded into building their own personal army. They used the stability provided by others to build their own independent power base. Your army is your capital, your investments, your business, your reputation. You must leverage your stability to acquire assets that do not depend on your employer's whim. This is the Machiavellian pivot from employee to owner, from dependent to independent. Level 4. Security, the impregnable fortress. Stability is having walls. Security is having walls, a moat, archers, and a stockpile that lasts for years. This is where you become untouchable to the common calamities of life. Job loss, inconvenience, market crash, a temporary setback. This level is about sovereignty. You are now the prince of your own small kingdom. Your psychology must shift entirely. You are no longer a subject pleading for security. You are the source of it. The Machiavellian virtue here is foresight. You see crises not as surprises, but as seasonal events to be prepared for. You diversify your holdings like a general deploys his troops, some to hold the line, some to scout, some to strike for new territory. You think in terms of systems and structures, not just income. You create legal entities, trusts, layers of protection. You understand that perception is a fortress wall. You cultivate an aura of unshakable capability. People must look at you and see not wealth, but solidity. This inspires fear in competitors and loyalty in allies. They believe your foundation is bedrock. This is the lesson of the Medici Bank. It wasn't just rich, it was the financial architecture of Europe. Its security came from being indispensable to the system, from having its hands in everything. Make yourself indispensable, not just to a boss, but to a network, to a market. Level 5. Independence, the power of optionality. Here, the game changes. You have severed the golden handcuffs. Your resources generate resources. This is Machiavellian freedom, the power to say no without flinching. You work because you choose to, not because you must. This is the most dangerous psychological transition. Weak men, upon reaching this level, become lazy. They think the game is won. The Machiavellian knows the game has simply changed venues. You are no longer fighting for subsistence, you are fighting for influence. Your time is now your most precious asset. You must guard it with paranoid intensity. Every request on your time is a tax. You must become a brutal evaluator of ROI on every minute. This is the level of strategic patronage. Like Lorenzo de' Medici, you now fund artists, thinkers, and other talented individuals, not out of charity, but to extend your influence, to create a legacy, to have eyes and ears in different spheres. You build a court. You surround yourself with talented, ambitious people whose success is tied to your own. You provide opportunity, they provide loyalty and expansion. This is Machiavellian symbiosis. You are no longer a player on the board, you are beginning to touch the pieces. Level 6. Freedom, the architect of reality. Independence means you don't have to. Freedom means you can. You now shape your environment, your daily reality to your will. You travel, you explore, you indulge not to escape, but to experience. This is where most visions of wealth stop. It is a paradise, and paradise is a trap for the Machiavellian mind. Complacency at this level is a spiritual death. The Machiavellian uses freedom as a tool for maximum leverage. With no survival concerns, your mind is free to engage in the highest levels of strategy, long-term societal shifts, geopolitical trends, the acquisition of not just property, but of history itself. You buy not just a company, but an industry's narrative. You collect not just art, but cultural influence. Your network is no longer of businessmen, but of kings, policymakers, and iconoclasts. You operate on the principle of Machiavellian indirect rule. Why be the king when you can advise the king? Why take the blame when you can shape the decision from the shadows? Your power is derived from being the unseen connector, the solver of impossible problems, the banker of last resort for grand projects. Your weapon is discretion. Your armor is your impeccable reputation among the powerful. You are a ghost in the machine, and the machine bends to your will. Level 7. Abundance, the legacy of power. Money is irrelevant. You have transcended currency. You deal in assets that define eras, media empires, cutting-edge technology, political movements, natural resources. This is the realm of the modern prince in the truest sense. You are no longer a person. You are an institution. Your every action has gravitational pull. The Machiavellian at this peak understands one eternal truth. All fortresses can be besieged. All power is temporary. Therefore, your entire focus shifts from acquisition to legacy and permanence. You are playing a game across centuries. You build foundations. You embed your family's name into institutions. You fund sciences and philosophies that will outlast you. You are writing yourself into history. This is the ultimate Machiavellian move, to cheat mortality through influence. You must also become a master of controlled chaos. Like the wise prince who allows minor conflicts among his subjects to prevent them from uniting against him, you understand that a perfectly stable system is a dead one. You allow and even engineer manageable disruptions to keep competitors off balance and to create new opportunities for your expansion. You are the storm, and you are the eye of the storm. You view the world as a garden to be cultivated, and sometimes certain weeds must be pulled, not with anger, but with the calm precision of a gardener. The journey through these levels is not linear. It is a spiral of repeated Machiavellian lessons. See reality, fortify your mind, build power, secure it, expand its influence, make it eternal. This is the Machiavellian path. It is lonely, it is demanding, it requires you to sacrifice the comforting lies of the herd on the altar of truth. You have a choice now. You can close this video and return to the world of fairy tales, where you were told you are powerless, a victim of circumstance, and that ambition is a sin. Or you can embrace the Machiavellian truth. The world is a contest of wills. The prizes, wealth, power, freedom, legacy, go to those who understand the rules, who have the discipline to play the long game, and the strength to bear the solitude of command. This channel is your armory, your strategy session. Subscribe, turn on notifications. This knowledge is not for the public square. It is for those who have the will to use it. We do not preach, we provide tools. The next video will delve deeper into the first weapon you must master, the dark psychology of unquestionable authority. How to make them fear you, not with bluster, but with silent, calculated presence. Remember the core Machiavellian maxim: it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. But to be feared, you must first become formidable. Your journey to formality begins now. I will see you in the next video. Until then, study, plan, and fortify.